Welcome to About Mansfield. It's your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo, broadcasting from the Sunmark Studios, along with the About Mansfield news team. Colleen Daniel, she's out enjoying the week off. This is the November 4th, 2025, 296th edition. Coming up, it's Mansfield news, talk, and information. And a little later in the episode, you will have a chance to win a $25 gift card to a Mansfield restaurant of your choice with our Mansfield trivia question, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance. Let's take a look at the stories we're covering this week. Mansfield ISD coach arrested on multiple felony charges. Mansfield father sentenced in toddler's fentanyl death. Mansfield ISD announces 2025 Hall of Honor inductees. Local food market sees increased demand. Evening of laughs coming to the Farr Best Theater. And in sports, volleyball season wraps up in Mansfield ISD. And in the talk segment, we will talk with Mansfield ISD Education Foundation Director Jennifer Kurecka. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Looking for a night out that's anything but ordinary? Step into Vault Seafood and Steakhouse, Mansfield's premier upscale dining experience. Savor perfectly aged steaks, fresh seafood, and handcrafted cocktails, all served in a stunning atmosphere. Want more? Enjoy private dining rooms and a cigar lounge for that extra touch of luxury. Vault delivers exceptional flavor in a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Located at Matlock and Country Club, Vault Seafood and Steakhouse. Unforgettable nights. Unmatched taste.
Hey, you guys, I'm Sean Surface with Second Chance Mentors, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by Vault Seafood and Steakhouse. A Mansfield ISD coach and teacher has been arrested on multiple felony charges. According to a letter sent to parents, 33-year-old Jared Young, a freshman coach and science teacher at Legacy High School, was charged with possession and transmission of child pornography, sexual assault of a child, and improper relationship with a student. The Alvarado Police Department notified Mansfield ISD of the allegations. The district said Young was immediately placed on leave, and earlier this week, he was informed that his employment would be terminated. The following day, Young was arrested. District officials emphasized that none of the charges involved Mansfield ISD students. They said background checks and reference verifications were completed before Young was hired, and no prior concerns were found. Mansfield ISD says it will contact any families whose students may have interacted with Young in past years. The district added that it is cooperating fully with law enforcement and reaffirmed its commitment to student safety. A Mansfield man has been sentenced to 20 years in prison after pleading guilty in connection with his 2-year-old daughter's death from fentanyl poisoning. Prosecutors say 28-year-old Michael Reed admitted to injury to a child causing serious bodily injury. His daughter, Nevaeh Michelle Reed, was found unresponsive at an apartment on Town Crossing Boulevard back in February of 2024. According to court records, Reed delayed calling 911 for more than 2 hours after the child became unconscious. A pill found near where she was discovered later tested positive for fentanyl. Nevaeh died 10 days later at Cook Children's Medical Center. The Tarrant County District Attorney's Office confirmed the case was ruled a homicide due to fentanyl toxicity. Mansfield ISD welcomed a new class into its Hall of Honor on Saturday, recognizing a mix of athletes, coaches, and longtime volunteers. Among the honorees was Tammy Lusinger, who coached Summit High School girls basketball teams to state championships, including her 2012 Lady Jags squad that finished the season 37-3. Lusinger coached at Summit from 2007 to 2015. Also inducted was Tevin Mitchell, a former Legacy High cornerback who earned all-district honors and later played at University of Arkansas before being drafted by Washington in the 2015 NFL Draft. Stacy Campbell, a standout Mansfield High School basketball player from 1985 to 89, was honored for her career that included all-district and all-region recognition and later success at the University of Texas at Arlington. And finally, Raymond Meeks was recognized for his volunteer work, helping launch multiple district tournaments and playing a key role in founding the Mansfield ISD Hall of Honor, where he served as chairman from 2013 to 2017. The inductees were celebrated at a reception at the Center for the Performing Arts, and their accomplishments will be displayed on plaques in the Hall of Honor at Vernon Newsom Stadium. The ongoing federal government shutdown, which has temporarily paused SNAP benefits, is leading more local residents to seek assistance from Mansfield Mission Center's free food market. The market provides free groceries, fresh produce, and household essentials to individuals and families in the Mansfield ISD area and is open Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 to 2, and on Tuesdays, 10 to 6 at 78 Regency Parkway with access from the back of the building. Organizers say donations of items like canned chicken, canned soup, tuna, pinto beans, refried beans, flour, oil, sugar, full-sized shampoo are especially needed this month. Contributions can be dropped off at the market or the Mansfield Mission Center thrift store at 703 East Broad Street, Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Volunteers and donations help ensure local families receive support during this challenging period. It's one of the funniest night in Mansfield. It's a benefit. It's the third annual. It's called It's a Wonderful Laugh Comedy Benefit Show. And to tell us all about it is the Executive Director of Echo Education, Ashley Roundtree. Welcome back to About Mansfield.
Hi, thanks, Steve. Thanks so much for having me.
Tell us about the It's a Wonderful Laugh Comedy Benefit Show.
We look to provide some fun fundraising events throughout the year for Echo Education, which is a nonprofit based here in Mansfield. And so what we do, we bring in some comedians. We've been doing this now for about 3 years. We have another show called Give a Laugh. And it's just a nice mix-up of humor and giving back and fun concessions and raffle prizes. And so we try to bring in some great comedians that Mansfield maybe knows of, but doesn't have to travel to Dallas or Fort Worth to see, and try to mix things up. And I know everyone loves the golf tournament for sure, but we try to add in a little bit of variety into the mix with some comedy.
Now, this year, you've got someone really special coming in.
We do, yeah. So Aaron Orion-Per, he has taken the state of Texas before and topped different charts with his different comedy albums. And he's been on Comedy Central's Up Next Talent Search and NBC's Stand Up for Diversity. He's been on quite a few shows, but my favorite is his comedy charting that he's done with iTunes and even Spotify. He reached #1 quickly on the comedy chart with iTunes whenever he debuted his last album. Aaron is just a gem of a guy. He has a long history of taking stages and bringing lots of laughter and joy. He's cutting enough where, he can get a good chuckle out, but he's, I've known him for a few years now and worked with them in Dallas. And so we're excited to be bringing him back. He did our first ever Give a Laugh show. So it's nice that he's returning to our stage again. We're really grateful for it.
And returning with a bigger and better presence. And that's really cool.
Exactly.
Tell the people when, where.
Absolutely. So next Friday, we have November 14th. We will be opening the doors at 7 for our show starting at 7:30. It's at Farr Best Theater in downtown Mansfield. So, go and get a dinner beforehand at, there's all kinds of places. You've got, is it Illusions? You've got Meehan's. You have all kinds of places. Catch a bite to eat, maybe a burger over at Twisted Root, and then come and see us. We've got that first act is actually going to be improv by Indie Lab Creative. It's a nonprofit in Dallas that puts on the Dallas Indie Comedy Festival. And some of that might include getting some of the audience up on stage for some improv comedy. So if you're feeling brave or want to hop on stage, definitely sit in the first few rows.
Sure.
And then the second act is Aaron. So we're hoping to pack the night out with a good time.
This, again, is a fundraiser for Echo Education. And if you can give the audience the Reader's Digest version of what Echo does.
Absolutely. Thanks for a chance to share.
Sure.
We are entering into our 12th season, and what we do, we provide experiential programs for students from 3rd grade all the way up to 7th grade. All of our trips are travel-based, with a lot of them heading down to Austin, and we've curated specialty programs, up to 6 of them, for kiddos to learn outside of the classroom. So hands-on learning, experiential learning, that's where we thrive. Those are the atmospheres that we like to create. And we handle everything from the booking of programs to day of operations, meaning we send teachers to do all the fun activities and lessons and games on the buses, guided tours at venues like the Bob Bullock Texas State History Museum. So we try to amplify the experience of what a field trip would be and make sure that we're hitting teaks and learning aspects while also being a service to teachers and not adding too much onto their plate by hosting it and planning it for them.
And a note to the listeners, if you want a deep dive into what Echo Education does, go to our website, aboutmansfield.com. There's a word search field there. Just type in Echo Education and listen to the full interview that we did a couple of years ago. So the fundraiser is coming up Friday, November 14th, 7:30 p.m. at the Farr Best Theater in downtown Mansfield. It's a wonderful laugh comedy benefit show. It's to raise money for Echo Education. Ashley, anything else you want to add before we say goodbye?
Yeah, I just want to thank some of our sponsors, if that's okay. We've got GTL Transportation, Venus Construction, and Frost, as well as Mission Sales and Supply, who have really come through to help make this event happen. So a thank you to them. And then we have some other sponsors who have generously given as well, like Destiny Studio and Testimony Creative. So we're super grateful for all of our sponsors coming up beside us to help make a fun night and a fun night of giving. You know, combining those two things. What else is more special than that? So Thanks to them for helping make it happen. That's
Executive Director for Echo Education. That's Ashley Roundtree. Go out and see Aaron Aranpur on Friday, November 14th, 7:30 p.m. at the Farr Best Theater and help raise money for Echo Education. And Ashley, thanks for being on About Mansfield.
Thanks, Steve. Always great to be here.
Week 10 of Friday Night Lights is in the books. We'll talk about it because sports is next.
Hungry for bold flavor and a good time? Head on over to El Primo's to enjoy sizzling fajitas and their signature blue margarita. Enjoy weekend live entertainment and let the kids run wild with an outdoor play area and arcade. Planning a party? Multiple private rooms are available, including the all-new Parrot's Nest to make your event a success. Food, fun, and flavor for the whole family at El Primo's. Visit elprimos.net and bring your appetite. Located at Matlock and Country Club. El Primo's, where the locals go.
Mansfield Plumbing, Electrical, Heating, and Air is a family-owned local service provider with over 20 years of experience. Servicing Mansfield and surrounding areas, we offer expert plumbing, electrical, heating, and air solutions focused on quality workmanship, customer satisfaction, fair pricing, and guaranteed results for homes and businesses.
Call 817-473-8888. Mansfield Plumbing's never second rate.
In sports, 3 of the 5 MISD football teams came home with a win this past weekend. Let's take a look at the scores. Lake Ridge defeated Legacy 56-21. Timberview pummeled the Colony 55-6. Summit down Everman 33-7. Your Mansfield Tigers fell hard to North Crowley 70-21. In Mansfield ISD standings, Lake Ridge is now 7-2, Timberview 7-3, Summit is 6-3. Your Mansfield Tigers are 4-5, while Legacy is now 4-6. This week we head to the final week of the regular season. 2 games on Thursday night. Summit hosts Seguin at Newsom Stadium, while your Mansfield Tigers travel to take on the Weatherford Kangaroos. Friday night action includes Lake Ridge against Boswell at Newsom Stadium, and both Legacy and Timberview have the week off. Kickoff, as always, is at 7 p.m. Let's take a look at the highs and lows from around the state. The highest scoring game in high school football in Week 10. McLean down to Follett, 93-48. The lowest scoring game in the state, Aldine Davis nipped Spring Westfield, 6-0. And the biggest goose egg, leave it to Aledo for romping Azle, 73-0. In other sports, Mansfield ISD 6A volleyball teams took it hard on the chin in the first round of the playoffs Thursday night as your Mansfield Lady Tigers ended their playoff run as they were defeated by Keller 3-0. The Lady Tigers ended this season with an impressive 44-3 record and were rated 25th in the nation by Sports Illustrated. The Lake Ridge Lady Eagles fell to Byron Nelson 3-1 and end their season with a record of 28-12. The Legacy Lady Broncos closed out their season with a loss from South Lake Carroll, 3-0. In 5A volleyball, both Summit and Timberview ended their regular seasons on October 24th and did not advance to the playoffs. And that, my friends, is a look at sports. This coming Saturday, November 8th, is National Cappuccino Day. Whether you like yours bold and foamy, dusted with a little cinnamon, or topped with enough cocoa powder to qualify as a dessert, Saturday is all about celebrating that perfect balance of espresso, steamed milk, and silky foam. Legend has it that the cappuccino got its name from the brown robes of Italian Capuchin monks. So technically, your morning coffee is blessed by history. It's also a great excuse to sneak in an extra coffee break, catch up with a friend, or test your barista skills at home. You get bonus points if you can swirl a heart or a leaf into the foam without it looking like a Rorschach test. So go ahead, sip, smile, and savor the day. Saturday, after all, life's too short for a bad cup of coffee. Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
I'm Angel Biasatti, and we're talking about simple ways you can be more active at work. In Methodist Mansfield, News to Know.
Hi, this is Todd Cleveland. The holiday season is upon us, and your garbage disposal is going to be working overtime. Find out how to keep it running in tip-top shape on this week's episode of Home Services Advice of the Week.
We'll talk with Mansfield ISD's Director of Early Childhood in this week's 40 Under 40.
In this week's Cocktail of the Week, this cocktail doesn't require a degree in mixology. Just good bourbon, a splash of fall, and enough fizz to keep things lively through the fourth quarter.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield. This portion of the news was brought to you by El Primo's, where the locals go.
Hey there, it's Luke from Cool Hand Electric. Are you tired of dealing with plugs or lights that just won't cooperate? Well, don't fret. Give us a call. Worried about power outages or surges damaging your precious electronics? We've got you covered. Whether it's a whole house generator or surge protection, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are ready to tailor the perfect option that suits your needs and budget. At Cool Hand Electric, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand, where excellence is still cool.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a Level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
Congratulations to our latest trivia winner, Ann Smith, who knew that it was the tragic event, the Red Ball gas house explosion, that led Texas Governor Preston Smith to sign a law in 1968 prohibiting the storage of gasoline in large above-ground tanks. When we come back, this week's trivia question. I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
It is time right here, right now for the highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield trivia question. If you are the first person to email the correct answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com, you will receive a $25 gift card to a Mansfield area restaurant of your choice. It's brought to you by Joe Jenkins Insurance. Whether you're looking for homeowners, auto, commercial, or any other type of insurance, Joe has helped Mansfield area residents understand the insurance coverage that best fit their needs since 2010. You can find him on the internet at joejenkinsinsurance.com. And at this point, I usually say, Colleen, it's your turn. Well, it's my turn. Since the late 1800s, Mansfield has had its fair share of lawmen protecting our city, including numerous sheriffs and marshals. This week's trivia question: who is the Mansfield Police Department's current chief of police? Email your answer to trivia@aboutmansfield.com. Again, who is the current chief of police for the Mansfield Police Department? Good luck. And thanks to Joe Jenkins Insurance for the gift card.
I'm Jason Moore, Executive Director of Mansfield Economic Development Corporation, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section. Angel Biasatti is here to talk about simple ways you can be more active at work in Methodist Mansfield News to Know. Angel?
Here's a question for you. How long have you been sitting today? If it feels like most of the day is spent in a chair, you're not alone. But sitting too much, being sedentary, can take a serious toll on your health. Sitting for long periods can increase your risk for heart disease, diabetes, back pain, and even decrease your energy. The good news, you do not need to run a marathon to combat it. Even small movements at work can make a significant difference. Here's some simple tips to stay active throughout your workday. Try the 28-2 rule. For every 30 minutes, sit for 20, stand for 8, and move for 2. A short stretch, a quick walk keeps your blood flowing. Make movement a routine. Take those stairs. Stand during phone calls, or walk over to a coworker's desk instead of sending an email. Stretch breaks. Stand up and stretch every hour. It eases tension in your neck, shoulders, and back. Use a standing desk or desk converter. Alternate between sitting and standing. Keeps your muscles active and your energy high. At Methodist Mansfield, we know that minor changes lead to big health benefits. Moving more during your day can boost your energy, your focus, and overall wellness, and it's easier than you think. So take this as your reminder. Stand up, stretch, and get moving. Your body will thank you for it. For more tips on health, visit MethodistHealthSystem.org. That's Methodist Mansfield News to Know. I'm Angel Biasatti, reporting for the About Mansfield podcast.
Todd Cleveland offers tips to keep your garbage disposal clog-free this holiday season in the Home Services Advice of the Week. Todd?
It is the holiday season, and your garbage disposals are going to be working overtime. Here are a couple things that we can do to make sure our garbage disposals are ready for the demand. First, you want to clean out this garbage disposal. You know, sometimes you're washing dishes and you're like, what is that smell? Well, bacteria gets in that garbage disposal and it doesn't get out of there. One of the things you can do is add ice to this garbage disposal. Put the ice in there, crank it on. It's going to be really loud, but what that ice does is it cleans the inside. It's going to kind of scour the inside, and then it'll melt and it'll go right down the drain. Pro tip, you can add a little bit of pine sol to that ice and give it a nice piney, freshy smell. Another thing you can do is you can add orange peels or lemon peels. That also will give it kind of a fresh scent inside your garbage disposal. Just don't put too many peels in there that you stop it up, and you have to give us a call to get it unstopped. But if you do put too much stuff down the garbage disposal this holiday season and you hear it hum, there is a thing that we can do to break it loose. Every new garbage disposal comes with a little silver Allen wrench. and you might see it underneath the sink and you don't know what it is. Well, it's kind of shaped like an S, and you can take that, and in the center of the bottom of the garbage disposal, there's a little hole. That Allen wrench will fit straight in there. Make sure the garbage disposal is off before you insert the key into the bottom of the garbage disposal. You rock it back and forth. Hopefully that'll break it loose. Then remove the key, turn the garbage disposal on. If it starts humming again, you're probably going to need a plumber to come out and take care of it for you. Pro tip, it is a good idea to occasionally examine underneath your kitchen sink. Remove the bottles and all the stuff that you have under there. If you do notice any sagging or bubbling in the bottom of the cabinet or any discoloration of the wood, that does indicate that you have a leak or you have had a leak. A good idea is to give us a call here at Mansfield Plumbing, Electrical, Heating, and Air and have us just come out, take a look, and we'll do a whole house inspection and make sure your house is ready for the holiday season.
Call 817-473-8888. Mansfield Plumbing's never second rate.
The Mansfield Business Alliance has recently released their 40 under 40 list. Now, this is a list of 40 people either at or under the age of 40. These are the next generation of leaders here in Mansfield. They're executives, they're CEOs, they are entrepreneurs, and everyday people just like you and me. One of those people is in the studio today. My guest is an educational leader with Mansfield ISD, who previously served as principal at the Jandruco Academy for Early Learners. She now leads as the district's Director of Early Childhood, shaping innovative programs that are gaining national attention through professional learning tours and conferences like Get Your Teach On. Educators from across the country visit MISD to see early learning in action and bring those ideas home. The impact has been exponential, and it's reshaped her why for doing this important work. Ashton Oliver, welcome to About Mansfield.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for having me. It's truly an honor and humbling to be here to represent Mansfield and the leaders here in this great community.
40 under 40.
It makes me feel pretty old, actually.
Feel old should make you feel young.
Okay, I'll take it.
There are some 40 under 40s that are in their 20s. And you told me before we started recording, you've been with MISD for 17 years. So I'm going to guess you're a little older than 20s.
A little bit.
Okay.
I'm pushing the 40 almost.
You're pushing the 40, right. 17 years. Let's start at the beginning. What were you hired to do 17 years ago?
Absolutely. So I started my career in Mansfield ISD as a first grade teacher. I taught at Tarver-Rendon for 7 years. And there I really developed that love of teaching and learning and decided to pursue my master's. I actually did it through the Ron Clark Academy and decided to look at what does innovative teaching and learning look like. And took that model and jumped into curriculum instruction and got an opportunity there with the district to be a K through second grade literacy coach specialist. And that's really when the door opened and everything began. The district started Vision 2020 at that time. Right. And we started looking at why are our kids in third grade not reading on level? And we did a root cause analysis and really backtracked to see that it truly began in that foundational stages. We said they're not comprehending. Why aren't they comprehending? They're not reading fluently. Why aren't they reading fluently? They're not decoding appropriately. Why? Because they don't have a strong phonics and phonological awareness background. And that was because we hadn't developed a strong curriculum and strong training for the teachers. And so that's really where I jumped in and took on pre-K at that point. Mm-hmm. My partner at that time was Jennifer Foster. And so we together jumped in, took pre-K, developed the curriculum, and really got the opportunity to start the design and development with our director at the time, Christy Cobb, and developed the Dr. Sarah K. Jandruco Academy for Early Learners.
Okay. Back then you said Vision 2020. Now it's 2030, 2040?
2030.
2030. So always looking ahead.
Yes.
And how does Vision 2020 compare to 2030?
So guiding statement number 1 has been unchanged because it is such a true foundation of what we need for the projection of our students' lives, that reading on grade level by third grade or higher is truly important. So that remained the same. Vision 2030 carried up to Vision 2020 carried up to Vision 2030. And so we still follow suit with that same guiding statement.
Director of early childhood. Describe what your day is like.
Every day is a little different.
Every day.
So we currently have 77 pre-K classes in the district. And so while 18 of those are at Jandruco, the rest are spread across the campuses. And so I'm popping to the different campuses. We're doing trainings. We're pulling them together to do some cohorts so that they can collaborate with each other. There's also some leadership components with the other directors in the district and curriculum and instruction. So every day truly is different. And then also just having that continuous growth mindset myself, going to trainings and learning myself, or presenting at those trainings outside of Mansfield.
And you're working a lot of hours.
A lot of hours.
So let's talk about then work-life balance, or is there such a thing in your life?
I try. I have a 5-year-old myself and an 11-year-old, and I'm a wife. And so just wearing all of those hats, truly, I have to have that balance because I know the importance of that first 5 years. And so I can't let my own daughter not have those experiences that I'm providing to everybody else in the district. And then I also see the time slipping away with my 6th grader as he's in that preteen age. And so I've got to make the most of all the moments. So just being intentional.
You got to get ready for the 6th grader as he passes the dark side of the moon and loses communication with Mother Earth until they've come around to the other side, and it happens.
It happens. And I throw research at him all the time. I'm like, I know how the brain works. I know that technology is not great for your brain. And so he says, stop schooling me, Mom.
Yeah. When you were, let's say, 6th grade, or did you know your career path then? Did you know that you were going to become a teacher, a principal, a director? What was 6th grade Ashton like?
So I think everybody else knew except me. I mean, obviously I would play school with my cousins in my grandma's bedroom, and but in the 6th grade, I thought I was going to go into business management or something in the healthcare. I thought I was going to be a physical therapist. And so just kind of seeing how that's changed, I actually started college as pre-med and decided I don't want to spend my entire college career studying because it just didn't come natural to me.
Yeah.
And so it really took place after my freshman year, and we were serving in a church. My husband and I were both at Dallas Baptist University, and we were on the Christian Leadership Scholarship, and so we were doing service time at a church, and the children minister there really took me under her wing, and we were able to get creative, and we had somewhat of a thematic unit that we would rotate the students through in the children's ministry, and that just changed my perspective and said, oh, I am good at teaching kids. Yeah. And so that's really, I think, the turning point of whenever I said, okay, let me switch. I'm going to go education, and we're going to go all in.
Let's talk about your biggest challenges. What in your daily life, career-wise, what's your biggest daily challenge?
I think the biggest challenge is just the innovation piece and not necessarily having a model to follow. We're really taking the leap and taking risks, and a little bit of that fear of, is this going to work? I was saying when we were designing what we were doing for the Jandruco Academy, it was literally like we were flying the plane while we were building it because we were the first in the country to do something like this. Sure. So it was truly thinking outside of the box.
But then do you have to follow TEA guidelines, or are you able to create something, like you said, out of the box?
Yeah, so we do follow all of the TEA guidelines. Everything is guideline driven. And I think the biggest barrier when we were opening the academy was the community perspective we wanted to get in front of, because we're building this amazing building for our students to learn. but they think, oh, you're building this amazing building for them to play. Well, that's how students learn. But it's very intentional. And unless you're in that lens and you're there every day to see it. So just that perspective that what we're doing is very intentional, guideline driven, and then we layer in all of those other pieces. We layer in dramatic play. We layer in sensory. We layer in all of those engaging factors because that's truly what helps motivate them to learn.
Sure. Who in the community, who are the people that helped you get you to where you are today?
So we've had an amazing support team from the beginning, and I think a lot of it started with Dr. V. Dr. Vishauskas was always our yes man. I mean, we did have to pull the research and present it to him, and he was very hardcore about having the dinosaurs. He was like, no dinosaurs, no check.
Wow.
So that was a funny story in itself, but he really led the way in supporting the vision. Jeff Brogdon, he's one of the superintendents in the district. He supports and fully is a yes guy for this project, and he loves to bring people and share the vision there as well. Couldn't also continue this journey without Dr. Cantu. But I think the most direct has been Christy Cobb. She's an executive director in our district now for elementary schools, but she started the early childhood. And so Jennifer and I worked with her. We were the coaches for the district, and that's really where it all started. And just her believing in me and giving us the opportunity to come to the meetings and have a voice versus it being all her, she really allowed us the opportunity and build capacity within us.
The Cobb family and the Casillo family, our kids went to school together.
Oh, really?
And they're a neat family. If you could go back to 10-year-old Ashton, knowing what you know today, what advice would you give to 10-year-old Ashton?
I think just don't be afraid to take risk, and it's okay to have fun. Dream big and go after your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you no. There were a lot of people that said this is not going to work, and don't pursue this. Don't pursue presenting at a national level what you do, and this is not going to work. This is just going to be chaos. But just the research, the background, the hard work putting into it, and the follow through is going to help master and get you success.
I like to conclude these interviews with what's called basically an open mic. Your opportunity to, whether it's give shout outs and words of advice, thank yous, what have you. Ashton, the mic is yours.
All right. Well, I guess I couldn't have been in this situation. Obviously, I feel like God has laid all of the stepping stones for the path that I've been on. He knew before I did where this was going to end and where this was going to go and the opportunities that would lead. And so I'm very thankful for him in that opportunity. Also, my husband has taken a back seat on some of the opportunities so that I could continue to grow, so that we could support our kids. And so just praying for his success along the way as he's allowed me to have mine. And so those are a couple of the big pieces. And then obviously just my team. I can only do so much without the teachers and the teachers' assistants that put this into play and all of the support that they give the students and the families in the community.
That's Ashton Oliver, Director of Early Childhood for Mansfield ISD. Congratulations on 40 Under 40.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks for being on About Mansfield.
All right.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up a drink that you didn't know you needed during game day snack chaos in this week's Cocktail of the Week. Brian?
You know, there's always that one guy at the tailgate who insists on bringing a cooler the size of a small car and enough IPA to fuel the entire fraternity. But sometimes you just want something easy, something you can build in your hand while calling plays from the couch. Welcome to this week's Cocktail of the Week, and to kick off our November series, Touchdown Toasts, all during the month of November, we'll be serving up football-ready cocktails that are easy to make, easier to sip, and worthy of making your starting lineup. The Huddle Highball is a crisp, refreshing blend of whiskey, apple cider, lemon, and ginger ale, the drink you didn't know you needed until game day snack chaos. It's light, it's fall forward, and won't put you in a nap coma before halftime. Now, what are you going to need to make this beautiful cocktail? You're going to need 1.5 ounces of a good bourbon, 2 ounces of fresh apple cider, 1/2 ounce of fresh lemon juice, 2 to 3 ounces of ginger ale or ginger beer if you want a bigger ginger bite like me, and then garnish with an apple slice, a cinnamon stick, or a lemon wheel. How are we going to make this cocktail? In a highball glass, we're going to add the bourbon, the cider, and lemon juice over ice. We're going to give it a quick stir to combine, and we're going to top with the ginger ale or the ginger beer. And then garnish with either a fresh apple slice or a cinnamon stick or a lemon wheel, depending on your vibe. This one's built for easy batching and feels a little elevated thanks to the cider and the lemon. It's spicy, it's citrusy, and just sweet enough, like autumn in a glass with shoulder pads. A little trivia for you. The highball is one of the simplest cocktail formats in existence. It's just a base spirit, a fizzy topper. It originated sometime in the late 1800s and was popularized in Japan, where whiskey highballs are practically a national treasure. Now, as for pairing, it goes with everything. French onion soup dip, brisket sliders, jalapeno poppers, leftover Halloween candy, you name it, this will pair with it. But as always, I'm open to hear your take and your input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain famously said, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey is barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with our interview with MISD Education Foundation Director Jennifer Kurecka.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Hi, I'm Bernadette McCraney, Director of Communications and Outreach for the City of Mansfield, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. And in the studio today, I've always wondered, they've been in Mansfield for a long, long time, many, many years, but I've never really gotten into what they do. And we're talking about the Mansfield ISD Education Foundation. And the director of the MISD Education Foundation is Jennifer Kurecka. Welcome to About Mansfield.
Hi, Steve. Thank you so much for having me today.
Now, you and I, this is pretty funny because this is the 5th time in a week that we've seen each other.
It is.
And the first time was last week at Common Table.
Yes.
And then we saw each other the very next day at Savvy's, where we both had lunch, but separately.
Yes.
Okay. And then we saw each other at Taste of Mansfield. And then we saw each other the next day. We can't tell everybody what that was about, but it was top secret. So actually, this is 5 business days in a row that we've seen each other.
Yes.
We got to stop seeing each other because people are starting to talk.
Well, our next event must be food-centered.
Okay, deal. Anyway, Jennifer leads the foundation's efforts to bring innovative programs and enrichment opportunities into classrooms across Mansfield, partnering with the community, donors, and local businesses to support teachers and students. What does all that mean?
We like to take the support for our community, bring them into the lives of our students, and enrich their educational experiences.
Okay.
We are taking the funds and the generosity that they bring to expand on the educational experiences, taking that beyond what standard traditional funding is able to provide. And that's crucial right now in these times. As many people know, our funding has greatly been cut for public education. And we like to come alongside the district and provide that next step that teachers are looking to dream and go beyond just that traditional teaching that they can have in a classroom.
And it's done through a grant process. So the teacher, or let's call them the educator, it may not necessarily be a teacher.
Correct.
Will apply for a grant, and then actually, you know what, we'll get into that. You mentioned that so MISD has its own budget, and they stick within that budget. So if something comes up where there's an expense, or it's going to cost a classroom or a teacher something, they will apply for that. And you mentioned that it comes from the generosity of the community. On a scale of 1 to 10, how generous is Mansfield?
On a scale of 1 to 10, our community is sitting around a 7.
A 7, okay.
And I think most of that is because they don't know about the MISD Education Foundation and how they can partner with us. It's not just a business. It's not just a large business. Large, small, medium can be a part of this. And whether you're giving $5, whether you're giving $500, $5,000, whether you are a parent of a student or you are just a community member here in the city and you don't have a child in this district, every child is a part of your community.
Sure.
We're going to give back. These children are going to work in your grocery stores. They're going to work in your departments. And one day they will be in the larger businesses. And so we want to build their education. We want to make an impact in their lives so that they can in turn make an impact in our lives. So everybody is able to be a part. And that 7 can definitely grow and be a 10.
And thank you for being honest with that 7, because if you had just said 10, people would have said, oh, well, then why do they need me? You didn't sugarcoat it.
No, there's always room for improvement. And if it was a 10, then there wouldn't be a need for me, quite honestly. But there's always room for people to know who we are and what we're doing here so that they can be a part. And we definitely want them to be a part.
And your job is to go out and raise the funds.
It is, yes. That's with our partners in the schools. Our teachers are a part of that. They may not need to write a grant or have one that is at the top of their list right now, but they also contribute to this. It is, again, those business partners. It's parents that have had students that come through these programs and they've seen the benefit of what a grant has done for their child. And it's students that have benefited from it personally and have gone on to become something, do something, and they contribute going back to the schools.
How long have you been the director?
I'm going into my 3rd year.
Into your 3rd year. You took Lynn Wilkie's place.
I did.
Those are big shoes.
Very big shoes, but I have filled them before.
Okay. That's because you two used to work together before, didn't you?
Yes.
As?
She was the receptionist at an elementary school, and when she moved on, I filled that spot to be in that while my children were at that elementary school.
And I've been told that Lynn listens to this podcast. So, Lynn, I apologize that you never crossed my radar in terms of coming into being on the podcast, and I hope you're enjoying retirement. And Jennifer has filled those shoes quite well. Your background, how did you go from, you mentioned school receptionist to executive or director of the Education Foundation? How'd that come about?
I originally was a counselor that had 4 children and decided to stay home and be the mom with my kids, which is what landed me in the elementary school with Lynn. Yep. And I was the PTA president there, greatly enjoyed being involved and participating with the teachers and the students. The opportunity came about for me to be able to take that spot and was doing that for 7 years. Then moved on to a secretary position, still keeping the schedule and the pace with my children. I did that for 3 years. My youngest was getting close to graduation. Asked if I could kind of move on to doing something more along the lines that I had previously done, and this position actually came open.
There you go.
So having had the experience that I had being in the school, seeing what teachers do, being able to stretch the funds to purchase those things for teacher passions, I felt this was a smooth transition, being able to provide that to a larger audience. I love seeing what teachers do for our students and being able to help them on a larger scale.
What's a typical day-to-day like for Jennifer at the foundation?
There is no typical day. No. You have a calendar and you walk in and have to quickly be able to pivot. But if there's an event, obviously you're planning for that event. So right now we do have a clay shoot coming up and we are finishing all those touches for it. But at the same time, we're getting ready for our gala that is off in February and planning for the golf tournament in June. We're still meeting with business partners and getting out for other events across DFW and meeting business partners there and learning.
Yeah.
Always learning.
You mentioned the three events, the gala, the clay shoot, the golf tournament. Are you planning 2 or 3 events simultaneously, or when the clay shoot is over, you'll start planning the gala? After that's over, you start planning the golf tournament?
It is constantly rolling.
It's all 3 of them. You're going...
Yeah, we just finished a pickleball tournament. So that one is done. And all of this is at the same time that we're doing our grants. So
let's talk about the grants since you brought that up. Again, we mentioned somebody needs a little something in the classroom. They have to apply for a grant. What's the grant process?
I hear teachers so many times saying, I don't have an idea for a grant. And my first question is, do you have an Amazon wish list? I love to look at Amazon wish list and see, generally we can look at that and I can pick out something that would create a grant. Pencils, markers, no. But your board games or manipulatives that are on there, that can be a grant. Let us help you with that. And we do grant help sessions leading up to the grant cycle, so that we can help you create that grant, help you with the wording. Our grants open up in May and run through September. So we have fall grant patrol that we do, and the teachers have a time period where they're able to apply. It is not an intensive grant process.
They don't need to hire a grant writer.
No. It looks like a lot of questions, but a lot of it's a click. We just want to know what their intention is. They should be able to write this to where a common business person, that 6th grader or mom, could sit down and have it explained to them and they understand what you just said to them. We're not looking for technological terms or the IEPs or anything like that you're going to find, your TEKs. We want it to be easily explained and what does that impact in a classroom? And then it goes to all of our district personnel for them to ensure that it's aligning with curriculum guidelines. And then we have a committee that will review everything and decide.
Is this a committee of 2 or 20 or?
We have 7 committee members.
7 committee members.
And we review every single grant. It is made up of our board members as well as community members.
On average, how many grants are applied for in a typical year?
Around 100.
And then roughly how many grants are given out?
Anywhere from 60 to 80.
Okay, so most. And are the grants funded in full?
Generally so.
Generally,
yes. Every now and then there will be some that we're kind of curious to see if we do a partial grant, how will this work? And we communicate that. We would like to see how this is able to work, and then we encourage you to go ahead and apply for the remainder of that. And sometimes we did not have enough funds to spread out the entire way, but we wanted to ensure you got something for that.
Sure.
And again, we encourage you to give us the feedback with our survey so that we can know how to move forward.
What is again, these are just kind of common questions that I think listeners are probably curious about. The largest grant you've given out in the 3 years that you've been the director?
The largest that I have done was a little over $11,000.
And what was that for?
That was our Hope Squad grant. It is for your intermediate, middle, and high schoolers, and it allows your students actually pick the mentors on the campus, your student mentors, to kind of guide and look for those that are struggling on a campus, to come alongside you to see that this is a tough time for you, and then they can report back to the counselor or a teacher and say, hey, Steve is having kind of a hard time right now. I think he could use some help.
Steve always has a hard time.
Because every teacher cannot see every student and know what's going on or notice that you're not engaging. But that student that has been picked as the mentor has an opportunity to see a little bit more. And again, these are students that have been picked by the student body. If we save one life, it's worth the entire amount.
Sure.
And it's been very impactful on our campuses, and it has saved lives.
Let's turn that around from the biggest to what's the smallest grant you've given out that off the top of your head that you can think of as I'm stalling here while you're going through your mental Rolodex, the smallest grant you've ever given out.
The smallest I'm thinking was somewhere around the 300 mark, and I can't think off the top of my head what I'm thinking. It was along the lines of a social emotional learning grant, which was kind of manipulative, but I can't tell you exactly what that was.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. About $300. All right. That gives the listener an idea of that, all right, a low end and a high end. Can you think of a specific success story, something that you go, you know what, I'm really glad that we granted this grant because, wow, it floored me.
I can.
You
Does
can.
It have to be one?
We have all day.
Okay. So there is a partnership that we have between an elementary and a high school. It's a community grant. The elementary students will draw pictures of their favorite animal, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
And the drawings are then given to the high school students. They will sew that animal to the teeniest of detail. At the end of the year, they get together and it is an unveiling. They have not met until this time. The students get to see their animal for the very first time, and it looks just like their drawing.
Wow.
And then that animal is donated to the Arlington Victims Association for a child that has experienced trauma. So it's teamwork and collaboration, but also it's teaching philanthropy and giving back to the community all through a grant. Another one is our tackle wheels. We just gave those this past grant cycle was awarded for every middle school and high school, and it was trying to teach or making available for our coaches to teach all of the football players how to successfully tackle without having to do it from bodily contact and to prevent concussions. We have learned that they're already down 27% just since they've received them on the concussion rates. That's a huge success. That's time that those kids are in classrooms, that they're not receiving injury. They're able to play and continue in all that they're doing in their endeavors. We have a teacher that wanted her FAL students to be included in all things in the library.
I'm sorry, her what students?
These are the special needs students.
Okay.
And so as a librarian, it's for this particular population, most often those students have books in their classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted them to come to the library just like every other classroom, every other student. So she wrote a grant, and she has adapted every single book with a lamination and has tactile surfaces on them, little manipulatives that they can come in and feel the textures and everything. But there's a section where they can come over and actually check out books in their section. So it's just for them, and they know that they can come to the library and it's their area.
Yeah.
So it's wide ranging and it's impactful for every single student. The first grant that I spoke about with a community grant, that was sponsored by 2 community members that just had a passion to give back.
Nice.
The second one was sponsored by a business. The third,
the football one?
The football one,
Okay.
the Tackle Wheels.
Uh-huh.
The third one was sponsored by an organization.
Huh.
So there's so many different ways that everybody can get involved.
Talk about then how do you go about getting the word out that, again, you're the fundraiser. So whether it's a person, an organization, or a business, how do you get the word out that, hey, we need money, and how do you get the money out of them?
I love sitting down one-on-one with people and just learning about what their passions are.
Mm-hmm.
That helps me know how to connect them best with what it is that they would like to fund and engage in. Things like this. So thank you again for the opportunity just to be able to speak and then being able to go and be a part of other speaking engagements, or like the events that we went to, just getting out and mingling with others.
If you had not gone to Common Table, you and I would not have met.
Correct.
Even though you said our paths have crossed many, many times prior to that, you and I have actually never
We've
shaken
never sat
hands,
down.
never
Yes.
shaken hands and met each other.
Yes.
And it was that night, that it was a Tuesday night, that I was fascinated by the Education Foundation. Like I said, I've known about it for years, don't really know what they do, other than I've played in one of your golf tournaments. And that's when I said, we need to have you on the podcast, because I'm curious. And if I'm curious, I'm sure there are other people out there who are curious as well. So here you are.
Well, thank you.
If someone wanted more information about the Education Foundation, or if they wanted to donate, because it is a 501c3, good for your taxes, how can they find out more information?
Well, they can get on our website at mansfieldisdfoundation.org. They can call the office at 817-299-6355, or they can even stop by our offices. We are in the Student Services building for the admin offices for the district, and we would love to talk with them. I would love to get together and meet for coffee or lunch and just chat with them to know them better.
So, and the office, that's at Broad Street and Walnut Creek. That's not the Rock Gym, but that's the one next to the gazebo.
Yes.
Where you and how many are in your office?
Well, we are in the backside.
Okay.
So myself and Tony.
Tony. Shout out to Tony.
Yes. She is back at the office working hard right now.
Very good. So the grant process, someone has applied for the grant. You've granted that wish, if you will. Is there a way of measuring their success?
Yes, we like to go out to the campuses. I have amazing board members.
Mm-hmm.
And so we split up with our schools and we go out to the campuses to follow up with them to see what is going on. And we like to see our grants in action. And then they have a survey that they complete in April for us to let us know what that impact has been, how many students they've reached, and if it's been beneficial to carry forward.
Okay. Your big event of the year, I mentioned, I've played your golf tournament once. I know it's been, it's probably at least 20 years, isn't it? the 20th annual, or I don't know.
This year will be our 26th year.
26 years. I've only played in it once, but I know it's your big event of the year. Describe what that golf tournament is like, because it's huge.
Wow. It is. So we were founded in 1998. The first event that was held was our golf tournament in the spring of 1999, actually the summer. It is always held in June, the first Monday, and this year it will be June 1st, 2026. So mark your calendars. It is held at Walnut Creek Country Club. We sell out every year. We take over both courses, and it is a lot of fun. We are coming together with lots of raffle items, silent auction items, but it is a great day of fun, whether you are an expert or you barely know what you're doing with a club. It is just a great day to get out and play and enjoy the day.
And we're talking hundreds of golfers out there.
Yes, we average about 240 golfers.
Wow. But it's actually the backside, the 19th hole, if you will, the party at the end that I would assume that's where most of your money comes from. Is when the golf is finished, everybody has putted out, they head back to the clubhouse, the ballroom really, and they have themselves a great time. The silent auction.
Yes, we do have quite the variety of silent auction.
And again, it's June 1st.
June 1st.
So
yes.
put that on your calendar for 2026. Mansfield ISD Foundation.org is the website. Is there anything that I missed that you would like to tell the audience about before we bid you adieu?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity to talk about the foundation, and truly, if you've ever wondered about the foundation, would like to get involved as a volunteer, or just sit down and know more about how to be involved with us, give me a call. I would love to talk with you and tell you more about us.
So whether you are an individual, an organization, a small business, a large business, again, 501c3. So if you have you've just wrapped up a meeting with your CPA and they say you need to donate to make your taxes look good for next year. This would be a great place to start.
Right. And there's no better way to invest your time, your energy, and your money than in the future of our students.
Jennifer Kurecka, thanks for being on About Mansfield.
Thank you so much for having me.
Coming up next week on About Mansfield, we will talk in studio with the youngest chief operations officer in Mansfield. You'll just have to tune in to find out who it is. In the meantime, this is the place where you hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, engage, connect, amplify, elevate, celebrate, embrace, explore, share, love. Come on now. Support this podcast if you haven't already so you never miss an episode. It's free and it's easy. Head on over to our website, aboutmansfield.com. Enter your email address right there on the homepage. We will never, ever, ever send you any spam. My promise to you. Colleen, close us out with the credits.
Well, Steve, About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts, Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Home Services Advice of the Week, Todd Cleveland. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this podcast without prior written consent is strictly prohibited. We thank you all for listening. Colleen, this is your last vacation. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield.